Sumo wrestling has to be one of the more interesting sports that I've ever had the honor of witnessing live. I'd always heard about it either via television or social media, but never understood the magnitude of its significance until I traveled overseas. This sport first originated in Japan 1,500 years ago, and it is even said in the Kojiki, or Records of Ancient Matters, that before mortals wrestled on Earth for honor, fame, compensation, and prestige, the Japanese islands were decided in a sumo wrestling match between the god of thunder, Taki Mikazuchi, and the god of water, Taki Minakata. So with a backstory like that, it probably won't come as much of a surprise that sumo wrestling is not only Japan's national sport, but actually one of the oldest sports on planet Earth. Sumo wrestling has a lot of religious undertones to it, and it is very much considered a sacred event. The pavilion, or roof-looking thing floating above the wrestling platform, and the wrestling platform itself, also known as the doyo, is regarded as a Shinto shrine. So sumo bouts literally take place on holy ground. And it is with this in mind that the various religious traditions performed at the beginning of a bout, such as salt throwing to purify the wrestling platform, and the raising and lowering of one's leg to stomp or sweep away evil spirits, starts to make sense. It might come as a surprise that sumo wrestlers weren't always the hefty behemoths you see in the modern day. Originally, sumos were cut, muscular, wiry, and depended on their explosiveness to win bouts. As time has progressed, sumo wrestlers' bodies have changed because stable managers discovered that the heavier their wrestlers were, the harder it became to move them out of the ring. But this isn't to say that some sumos do not rely on their agility and quickness. Actually, quite the opposite. Nevertheless, the shift to a heavier, more robust physique has been the trend for many years because lightweight and speedy tends to be less effective against an opponent that can weigh as much as 440 pounds or 200 kilograms. So I think this raises a very crucial question. How do you win a sumo match? Well, I'm actually glad that you asked. It is actually much easier said than done. A match does not begin until both wrestlers place their hand on the ground. Once both hands are placed on the doyo and each athlete begins to engage, a match only ends when either wrestler is tossed outside of the ring or any part of his body apart from the soles of his feet touch the ground. Also, if a sumo wrestler has a malfunction with their wardrobe and they suffer the misfortune of losing their loincloth, they can also become disqualified. Ryogoku Kokugikan, the national sumo arena, is actually the biggest sumo arena in Japan. It houses roughly 20,000 spectators and is truly a sight to behold. We were actually very lucky to just so happen to be in Japan for one of the 3 Grand Sumo Tournaments that they hold annually. Tokyo will typically host the tournament in the months of January, May, and September. There are also 3 other tournaments throughout the year in Osaka, Nagoya, and Fukuoka. So if you happen to be visiting during these times, it's a fun event to attend. Don't worry, you can attend a match and have fun even if you're unfamiliar with the rules of sumo wrestling. Matches are fast-paced and most end in a matter of seconds, so try not to blink. Also, it is extremely exciting when the match goes for a little bit longer because it gives the crowd a chance to get involved. All the slapping, headbutting, and throwing is like nothing you've ever witnessed before. It honestly made me want to go down there and try it myself. I think this sport is unique in 1,000,001 ways, and the excitement is very contagious. You can sometimes buy tickets on the day of if you get in line early enough, but I'd recommend buying in advance if you want to guarantee your seat. These tournaments sell out very fast, so try not to wait until the last minute if you can. We, and by we I mean my sister and I, bought our tickets a few weeks before the tournament on the Ticket Osumo website. I'll leave a link in the comment section below if you're interested. We had mid-range seats that were a bit high, but the view was very nice. The most expensive seats are on floor level, right near the action, but if you aren't used to sitting crisscross applesauce for long periods of time, you'll probably find yourself a tad uncomfortable. I think these tickets are harder to get anyways and get taken up by the true Japanese sumo superfans. So if that doesn't sound like you, or if it does, have fun fighting for a front row view. My experience here was one I'll never forget. Sumo wrestling is a spectacle steeped in tradition, grit, and true artistry. This centuries-old combat sport will leave you feeling awestruck as you come to better understand why it truly encapsulates the spirit of Japan. For now, I think that that's all that I have for day 2 in Japan. This really was a special event for me and my sister. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section down below. I hope that you all really enjoyed this video. I can't thank you all enough if you've stuck to the end of this video. And like always, thank you so much for watching.